Today, we're talking about loneliness, and we are going to understand loneliness even more because the more we understand it, the more we can change it, the more we can defeat loneliness, the more we can accept loneliness. Yes, accepting and embracing loneliness is part of defeating loneliness. The more you know about what is the challenge, what is the threat, or that the situation that changes how you feel about yourself in the world, the more you know about it, the more you can control your feelings, your thoughts, your actions about it. So, we're going to talk about what is loneliness. And today I'm going to draw a circle. So, I'm going to start with what is the message of loneliness? What is the function, not the message, but the function of loneliness? Then I will tell you what are the reasons that we feel lonely? And then I'm going to go back into the purpose, the function of loneliness, so that we can see how these situations that trigger loneliness can be dealt from a different perspective. So, I will explain more about what I mean. First and foremost, what is the purpose? What is the function of loneliness? So, the short answer is that loneliness is a survival mechanism. It's a survival message. So, to give you an example, and I think I've said that before, but that's an example that I love so much, and it explains it so simply. When you're about to touch a hot surface, then your skin feels the heat coming from this hot surface. You go and touch your hand on this hot surface, and then the skin, let's say, recipients of this heat send a message to your brain that says, this is hot. Do something so that we can remove the hand from the hot surface. The pain is actually the message that is been transmitted to the brain, and it's intense so that we take immediate action. Now, where hot surface, you put disconnection or you put loneliness. So, whenever you feel loneliness, this is the painful message that is being sent to the brain that says, do something, find connection. We don't like that here. We don't like that feeling. We don't like feeling alone, lonely, disconnected, isolated. Do something about it. It hurts so that we can hear the message and we can do something about it. That's the reason. There's a survival message behind this painful emotion. Now, why we're feeling lonely? Because we are feeling disconnected from people around us. Even when we are in a relationship, we don't feel connected with a partner, or we are in a new environment and we don't know these people and we don't know their values and their ways of functioning. We don't know them. We feel that we have different values with these people, right? The painful feeling is that I feel that I don't fit in. I feel I'm an outcast. I feel as an outlier even. I feel like an alien here. So it is very painful for sure. And that's when we feel lonely. When we feel that we are too different. And in some cases, we're judging ourselves too much and we feel too weird. And not to mention, of course, all the comparisons that we're doing with other people. Why these people have friends? Why these people they fit in? What's wrong with me? What is that I don't do well and it's too different in me? So, but that's another topic that we're going to discuss. We also feel lonely when we got rejected, when it's the rejection that we receive from a relationship that we already have, or from a relationship that is now starting. It's still a rejection. And again, it can start this downward spiral of what it is that is wrong with me or that I don't do well. And of course, loneliness goes together sometimes with this negative self talk. Also, when we are feeling empty. And when I say empty, it means when we feel that we have completely exhausted ourselves, when we feel that we don't have a very clear purpose or direction in our life, when it feels that we are working on something that it doesn't serve our joy, our happiness, our life meaning anymore. And so that leads me to another kind of disconnection, which is disconnection from ourselves. We don't feel connected with ourselves anymore. It's these periods that we are going through an existential crisis, that we don't actually understand why we're doing what we do. Who are we? What do we want? What is important to us? Why haven't we done something about what is important to us during all this time? All these existential questions, about us and about the meaning of our presence here on earth while we are alive. So all these messages, of course, all these triggers, of course, happen, and then it's very normal for all of us to happen. There's no exception, and nobody escapes these difficult, challenging moments. And that makes us, of course, understand that we cannot escape loneliness as well. And now, if I circle back to what I said before about the survival message, so then when I feel disconnected with my colleagues or with my relationship, what is the message then? Find connection, get to know the other person more. If it's about a relationship, let's sit down and discuss where this relationship is going. Let's sit down and discuss whether we have common values and common goals about a relationship. Let's sit down and maybe try couples therapy. So the message is, let's build connection. Let's figure out, let's reflect and figure out whether it's possible to have connection with these people. If we're feeling too different from our surrounding, and what is the message then? The message is, find people that they share common values, for example. Find people that they share common interests. Do you see that if we understand why we feel lonely, we can understand what is missing, and then we can understand what we need. And then that will direct the action that we need to take in order to bring that to our lives. That's why I said in the beginning that yes, even when we accept loneliness, we can defeat it. Because when you accept it, you understand it. And when you understand it, then you take the right action. So going back to the examples that I said, when we feel disconnected from other people and from our environment, then we are looking into people that fit in with us. We don't need to change who we are. There's nothing wrong with who we are. That's the self-acceptance part. We just need to find people that they share common values, common interests, common dreams with us. And when we're disconnected from ourselves, and then we don't know who we are, and we're talking about the existential crisis that I said before, what is the message then? Let's find purpose. Let's find what meaning. Let's find what is important to us. Let's go back to the ABC and try to understand what is priority, what is the area of our life that we need to pay attention, because that is what gives us joy and happiness in our lives. Yes, it sounds like a simple question, but sometimes it's not, because our lives are getting very overwhelming and busy with all the other stuff. Very often we get distracted by what other people want. And at some point, sooner or later, we come to this self reflecting, reevaluating, re-identifying point where we need to understand, okay, I know what other people want, but what it is that I want, what is important for me, and what it is that I will do in order to bring this purpose, this meaning in my life. That's the completion of the circle. Understand that loneliness is a survival, self-protective mechanism and a message, of course, and then understand why we're feeling lonely, what is the trigger, what is missing. And then when we understand it, then we go back to the survival message and we bring what is missing back to our life. This is when we understand that this message is, bring that back to your life, bring connection, bring joy, bring motivation, bring purpose back to your life, and then we feel less lonely. That's the good news. I hope I gave you a good idea about loneliness. I hope I helped you with that. And I'm here for any questions you might have about loneliness, and I would love to hear your feedback and your comments. Thank you very much. See you next week.